I'm Tom Messner with Vermont's Startup Profile in 5 minutes or less, where we talk with entrepreneurs in the Vermont startup world. Today, I have a conversation with Jenna Sereni, founder and CEO of HandsDown. So let's get right to it. I asked Jenna, what is HandsDown?
Hi, Tom. So for new parents who are overwhelmed by the time it takes to find all of the trusted products that they need when it comes to their babies, their young kids, and themselves as parents, Hands Down is a shopping platform for parents to source, save, share, and shop trusted product recommendations with their friends and with like-minded parents.
So how do their friends put recommendations out there and then people can get those recommendations? How does that work?
Yeah, so right now, out in the real world, we've spoken with over 100 moms and dads too, primary caregivers, really. And what we learned is that over 97% of parents are buying what their friends recommend. And that's because you come into this experience of becoming a parent and it's really overwhelming. And you're not only birthing a child, but you're kind of becoming reborn as a consumer. So all of a sudden, you have all of these new needs. You have all of these new categories that you're shopping in, all of these new brands that you have access to, but most of them you've never heard of before if you're not a parent. And so for what we do is we help parents to share those recommendations in an organized place where it's always accessible. And essentially, our goal is to limit the amount of time it takes to make a purchasing decision from 3 weeks or 3 months down to 3 minutes.
So where did this idea come from?
Well, I came up in New York. I came up through the fashion and beauty space. I worked at Teen Vogue and Daily Candy. My last company was a startup. We worked with celebrities and social media, and I was really immersed in trends and consumer products, and I knew what was cool. I knew where to shop. People came to me for recommendations for everything. And once my last company was acquired, I was at this big company and I thought, I'll have a baby. So I did that. And while I was going into my maternity leave, I all of a sudden discovered I had no idea what I was supposed to buy for this baby. I had never heard of any of these brands. I had never heard of any of these products or categories. I didn't know what an aspirator was or nipple shield. I was like, what is happening here? And I discovered that I was really becoming kind of reborn as a consumer. So what I did is I took everything I actually ended up using for this new baby. I lived in a small apartment. I couldn't use a lot of things. I took everything I actually ended up using and loving and I put it in a Google sheet and I organized it by nursery gear and feeding and bath time. These are just the 5 or 10 things that I need. And I shared it with my friends when they would get pregnant. And this list would directly be reflected in their baby registries. And then they would continue to use it as they became parents. And then my friends got really into this concept and we started sharing our 10 favorite things with each other. Every year we would share our favorite skincare products. And we really started directly shopping through each other. And that's when I really started thinking about, wow, we are the most trusted voices in each other's lives. We're ultimately the ones that are driving purchase behavior amongst each other. And that's really what ultimately inspired Hands Down.
Tell me about your podcast.
Yes. So this started when we first launched the new Hands Down for Moms and Parents experience. We needed some time to really validate our audience, identify what their challenges were, and build a product specifically for them. So while we were doing that in the background, we wanted to continue to engage and entertain our audience. And so just for fun, we launched a newsletter called Mommy Needs a Minute. It's an under 3 minute read, and Mommy Needs a Minute became really popular right away, and it started growing. And so what we did is we really took the content and context of Mommy Needs a Minute, which is short form, snackable content that delivers serious value for moms, and we turned it into a podcast.
Jenna's podcast, Mommy Needs a Minute, is recorded at Dialed Studio in Hula, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts. That's Vermont Startup Profile in 5 minutes or less. A big thank you to Jenna Sereni, founder and CEO of HandsDown. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.